Yes, you can enjoy light and fluffy chocolate chip banana bread even if you eat gluten-free, nut-free, and grain-free. My easy recipe uses versatile cassava flour mixed with high-protein cottage cheese, applesauce, avocado oil, and cane sugar. It makes a gorgeous loaf that is moist and delicious with your choice of chocolate chips. It is the ultimate comfort breakfast or treat made with clean, natural ingredients. Hello there, my name is Nicole Bonilla and I am so glad you're here. If you love healthier, all-natural recipes like I do, then you are in the right place. To make this banana bread, we're going to start by preparing our bread pan. And I've just taken a sheet of parchment paper, folded it square on one edge, place my pan on top, score the other edge, fold it on my score line, flip it over, push it down into the pan, score the bottom, and then fold the sides up and over. And then I'll give it a generous spray with some non-stick. And now it will be very easy to lift our bread out of the pan once it's baked. To make this banana bread, we're going to start with 2 ripe bananas. And you'll know they're ripe when they have the big brown spots on the outside. And that means they have their maximum level of sweetness. So I'm just going to peel the bananas and drop them in my bowl. Next, we're going to add half a cup of cane sugar, but you could also use regular sugar or coconut sugar. And then to add some moisture as well as some protein and some healthy fat, we're going to add 1/3 cup of cottage cheese. And don't worry about the curdled texture because we're going to blend it smooth with our bananas. Next, we'll add 1/3 cup of oil, and avocado oil is my favorite. And for some additional natural sweetness and flavor, we'll add 1/4 cup of some unsweetened applesauce and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now you could mix this together in an upright blender or a food processor, but I'm just going to use my immersion blender. Well, that looks great, and we no longer have that curdled texture of the cottage cheese. Next, I'm going to add 2 eggs, and then I'm going to mix this together with a whisk just to make sure those eggs weren't overmixed in the blender. Now we can add our dry ingredients, which includes 1½ cups of cassava flour, and then I'm adding 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I'll just gently whisk this together until it's all combined. And I emphasize gently or else you'll get a big cloud of flour puffing up. Ooh, and I almost forgot to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, which is going to add a little bit additional flavor. But no worries, we can stir it in here at the end. Now we have this very gorgeous and wonderfully smelling bread batter. Now last but not least, we can add our chocolate chips, and you can use any variety that you like. I really like using the mini chocolate chips because I find it's much easier to cut through the bread once it's baked. So I'm going to add 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, but I will go ahead and hold out about 1 tablespoon of them because I want to sprinkle it on top of the bread. And then I'm just going to stir these in with a spatula. Now we can pour our batter down into our prepared bread pan, and I'll just spread it in with my spatula, and I'll give it a few taps. Just remove any air bubbles, and then I'm going to sprinkle the rest of my mini chocolate chips on top. Well, this looks gorgeous, and it's ready to go into a 350-degree oven for about 40 or 45 minutes. And it's going to turn a really beautiful golden brown on top, but you will want to test it with a toothpick, kind of in the top and the center, just to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Well, here's our beautiful loaf of banana bread after it baked, and I allowed this to cool completely. And you can see how easy it is to lift the bread right out of the pan with our parchment paper. Now I do like to just barely cut the end off before I cut the first piece of bread. That is gorgeous. You can see how tender and moist that is. That is delicious. I love biting into this light and fluffy texture, and the banana and the applesauce and the sugar just bring in the perfect amount of sweetness without being overpowering. And I love the chocolate chips that bring in a little more texture and delicious flavor. And I love that it's made with clean, natural ingredients, which means I'm going to feel just as good even after I eat it. And I love being able to share these creatively healthier recipes so that you can enjoy them too. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today in my kitchen. I've included a link to the full recipe, and it's in the video description below, which takes you to my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone else who you think would love this recipe, please share this video with them. And I cannot wait to have you hang out with me again in my kitchen.